Words in the world of professional sports. From Fredericksburg, Virginia, here is Will DeBoard.
Gentlemen, start your engine.
NASCAR has made a lot of wishes come true over the years, and one just came true for the youngest Grand Marshal in NASCAR history. 17-year-old Will DeBoard of Fredericksburg, Virginia, here through the Make-A-Wish Foundation, has just given the command to fire the engines for this 41-car field. ESPN Speed World welcomes you to the beautiful Richmond International Raceway. David Green heads into today's race the points leader. Yesterday, a big announcement for this crew as David and the team will move up to Winston Cup next year. But David says in the remaining races, his focus is still on winning the NASCAR Busch Series Championship. However, the man who is chasing him is Randy LaJoie. Starts one spot in front of him. He trails Green by 100 points. LaJoie says, hey, I've been to Winston Cup. I love where I am right now. I have no desire to go back to Cup. I'm having too much fun in the Busch Series. Our focus is to successfully defend the series title. Remember, this team won the championship last year with Johnny Benson as the driver. Bill Weber?
Thanks, John. I know you fan tourists talk a lot about how valuable experience can be in racing. Well, here's another example of how critical it is. The top 4 qualifiers for this Busch race are Winston Cup regulars. In fact, 6 of the top 10 qualifiers are Winston Cup regulars. Last night, we saw 2 promising young drivers work their way to the front of the field. That would be Johnny Benson and Jeff Burton. They led the race, but they could not win it. Experience won out over youth, while youth gained a lot of experience. With the exception of Jeff Purvis, who won this race in the spring, no driver in the Busch top 10 in points has ever won here at Richmond. In fact, none has finished higher than 3rd. Today, we'll see one of 2 things. We'll see either a driver with Winston Cup experience go back to victory lane, or we'll see the graduation of a young talent going there instead.
ESPN, the world leader in motorsports coverage, welcomes you live to the beautiful Richmond International Raceway, scene of today's NASCAR Busch Grand National Series Autolite Platinum 250. With just 4 events remaining after today, 100 points separate David Green and runner-up Randy LaJoie. With just 80 points separate 3rd through 6th place, with Keller, Parsons, LePage, and Chad Little rounding out the top 10. Hello, everyone. I'm Jerry Punch, along with Benny Parsons and Ned Jarrett. Glad to have you with us. You know, ordinarily, the Busch Series events run on the eve of the Winston Cup show, but Hurricane Fran, who blew through here in the wee hours of Friday morning and dumped about 6 inches of rain, changed all that. Now, the Winston Cup race was run last night on the eve of this race. Now, what did those drivers who ran that race learn about what's going to happen today?
What do you think, Ned?
I don't know if they're going to learn a lot, Benny, because this racetrack is so different in the daytime and at night. And take into consideration, these cars have not been on the racetrack since Thursday when it was cloudy and cool.
I walked through the garage here this morning. Crapshoot is the word I heard. Crapshoot. We have no idea what springs the shock. Just like Ned said, the last time these cars were on the racetrack, it was 70 degrees and overcast.
Well, 11 drivers who ran last night will also be in today's field. In fact, 2 of those 11, Kenny Wallace and Mark Martin, you see there with the yellow arrows, they will be doing triple duty. They ran the truck race Thursday night as well as the Miller 400 last night, and, of course, this Busch Series race today. Take a look at our starting grid. As you heard John Kernan tell you, 41 cars will start, led by Michael Waltrip, who picked up his 10th career pole. There's the top 15. You heard Bill Weber talking about the Winston Cup experience in the top 4. There's LaJoie in 5th. He's a runner-up in points. Jason Keller back in 15th spot. 16 through 30, Ned.
Got the Sadler brothers back there in 19th and 20th, Hermie and Elliott. And some good cars. There's Purvis back there in 25th. He won this race back in the spring.
And Benny, 31 through 41. That leaves some provisional starters back there.
Yes, Phil Parsons, Todd Bodine, Glenn Allen, Jeff Fuller, the winner in Bristol just a couple of weeks ago. All those cars, and Larry Pearson with the champions provision.
Hey, following our race, we're going to go out to Monterey, California, the Grand Prix of Monterey. We're going to settle an IndyCar championship. Boy, what a great shootout that will be. That's coming up at 3 o'clock Eastern time, the Grand Prix of Monterey. So hang around for racing all afternoon here. Getting set for the start. R07 set to wave the green out of turn 4.
So good. All the cars seem to be doing fine, and we see cars on the outside. Looks like that high group is working as well today as it did last night.
We see one place back there. They're 3 deep going into turn 3. So, although with new tires you can do that.
Riding on board with Mark Martin is Winn-Dixie Ford.
That's back in 10th position. Jeremy Mayfield, the car number 98 in 9th spot. Martin he's up high, and Jeff Green in the 3 car. The Teresa Earnhardt-owned Goodrich Chevy makes a move inside of Mayfield, and though Mayfield will slam the door in turn 3.
Pretty well single file up front, but look a little farther back in the field. Now Green tries to get on the inside of Mayfield, and look at the side-by-side racing all the way back to the tail end of the field.
Well, they are double file back there about 12th through 15th. Here is Jimmy Spencer, Zippo Chevrolet, and that's Chad Little, one of the guys who ran last night. The John Deere Pontiac.
Battle for 4th spot, and Chad Little will take it away.
Whoa! Michael Waltrip gets sideways out of turn 2. Nearly loops it around. There he finally gets the car going again, but that cost him a lead. And 2nd spot, it might cost him 3rd.
Chad Little trying to move on the inside of him, coming off of turn 4. Jimmy Spencer is right there too. Yeah, that was about to be a costly situation.
Look down there, Michael Waltrip trying to go up the racetrack to catch the back end as it goes around.
Boy, Waltrip's car just suddenly got very, very loose, and he got in the gas coming out of turn 2, and he's still up in the middle of the racetrack. Let's show you again what happened.
Looks like he and Bobby Labonte might have touched a little bit coming off of turn 2. And
that was sort of the tail end of it. Actually, yeah. Michael's car had already gotten sideways, and Bobby dove under him. And then Michael caught the car, and they had a little bit of contact. Back up front, Bobby Labonte being shown as our leader. There is Bobby in the car number 44, the shell colors. Bobby already a winner this year in Busch Series competition. Won up at Nashville, Tennessee in the early laps of the Autolite Platinum 250. We'll be right back. Around here in a hurry at Richmond, guys. Chad Little just a moment ago was running 3rd, and now he's back about 6th.
Yeah, he's back in 6th place. The 20 car of Jimmy Spencer got by him after running a couple of laps side by side. Randy LaJoy got by him, and so did Michael Waltrip.
There's Phil Parsons riding alongside him. That's the Mike Harmon car, the 24 car.
There was a report, Benny, that the 28 car, which normally is Hut Strickland, but driven today by Kevin LePage out of Shelburne, Vermont, the 28 car may be leaking some fluid. Now, actually, Phil in the channel lock machine there is running behind the 28. We just saw some moisture on Phil's windshield a moment ago. Okay, take a look at the windshield. There is something on the windshield. Hard to tell if that's...
It's difficult to tell. I do see some fluid of some type on the windshield. But...
All right, we're going to clear the lens. The lens moves around to clean itself, and now we'll see if there is some more fluid coming out.
But the 28 car is the 3rd car in front of Phil Parsons. It's hard to imagine he'd be able to get back to his car.
And Tommy Houston off the pace in car number 6. Propane gas car.
John Kernan, what's wrong?
It's a problem in the engine compartment, Jerry. They're either thinking he might have dropped a cylinder, had an suspension problem or possibly a little bit of both. They've got the pit board out right now, but Tommy's still out there. It's still under power, it sounds like, but he's not going very fast at all. In fact, they've just called him into the pits. Next time by, he will pit. They'll open up the hood, take a look at the engine.
Tough break for Tommy Houston, 51-year-old veteran.
Here's Chad Little about to lose another position to the points leader, David Green.
As a matter of fact, there's 3 greens running nose to tail.
And up front, a challenge actually for third spot as LaJoie in the 74 car. He is second overall in the points. He is door to door, or was a moment ago, with Jimmy Spencer, and just pulled it down and pulled away from Spencer by about a car length.
And there I was starting to say we've got 3 greens running nose to tail. David in the 95, Jeff in the 3, and Mark Green in the 37. 3 brothers.
2 announcements here by 2 of those brothers this weekend. David, of course, as I talked about at the top of the show, going Western Cup racing next year with the Caterpillar team. And Mark Green, new 2-year deal with the Timberwolf people to run the full Busch series. So he was excited about that.
So 1 green's leaving and 1 green staying.
There you go.
Okay, let's check in on the Tommy Houston situation. John Kernan?
The hood goes down, the hood pins go in, the engine refires. Tommy Houston is down and away. The problem, a plug wire, it vibrated off, and they had a little bit of problems getting it back on, and they really had to force it on, jam it on there. But now they've got the plug wire on, and they hope that has fixed the problem.
Trouble on the racetrack, John. Over in turn
3 and 4, Twins turn 3 and 4.
That is the 28 car that Kevin LePage is driving. The 40 car of Tim Fedewa involved. And that will bring out caution for the first time here. Showing lap 24. Here's a replay.
There they come off the corner. And the 0-2 is Michael Rich, Stevie Reeves in 96. And there we see Fedewa and LePage. And Jeff Fuller's going to make it 3 abreast. He backs off. They go in the corner. And looks like LePage just lost control. Going in the corner a little bit. He taps the 40 in the quarter. And around he goes.
Boy, Tim Fedewa has to be the hard luck driver of the year in this series. He's just had so much tough luck in that Kleenex car.
Watch it again. Looked like the 28 might have lost the back end going in. When he tried to save it, he goes up and taps the 40 car, and pretty good contact with the left side on Tim Fedewa's car. Phil Parsons, the Chandler car, was right behind them, so we'll watch from his onboard camera.
Didn't take much, just a little tap there.
Well, there's Tim Fedewa's car on pit road, and you see some of the damage on the side as Hermie Sadler brings the DeWalt Industrial Tools Chevrolet down pit road. First caution flag of the afternoon at Richmond International Raceway. We'll be back with more after this. As Richmond International Raceway under caution for the first time today. Boy, we got an afternoon for you. How about IndyCar Championship coming up next, the Grand Prix of Monterey. Take a look at points leader Jimmy Vasser, 142 total points. He starts 5th. Michael Andretti and Al Unser Jr., the 2 drivers who have a shot at winning this title. They start 11th and 13th respectively. And guys, if you can win the race and lead the most laps, you could pick up a total of 21 points. And that means this championship is up for grabs. You'll see it decided this afternoon at 3 o'clock Eastern from Monterey. Boy, what a shootout that should be.
Should be. Vasser looks like he has a awfully good chance starting in 5th, and his teammate on the podium.
The spotter saying, go, 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 green. And that's what Bobby Labonte has done, pulled away by about 5 or 6 car lengths over Kenny Wallace.
And Mark Green did not get an exceptionally good start as both Jeremy Mayfield and Mark Martin was able to get by him.
Look at Spencer trying to run up on the outside of Brandon LaJoie. He saw that wasn't going to work, so he got back in line. It was a good move.
That's 2nd, 3rd, and 4th. Kenny Wallace, Brandon LaJoie, Jimmy Spencer, Michael Walker, David Green.
See how close they're hugging the bottom line on this racetrack, at least in the early going here.
Well, Kenny Wallace, a 2-time winner here. He won in the fall back in 1994, and he won in the spring of 95.
Summary, and the number in parentheses on the right is where the driver started. Jeff Green running in an 8th spot, started 12th.
Michael Waltrip's having trouble coming off turn 2 with his MW Windows Ford. He got a little sideways that last time up there. big time back earlier.
Terry Labonte started back in 30th position, has now moved all the way up to 19th spot. Remember last week at Darlington, he started way in the back of the field, ended up going to victory lane.
And how about even last night in the Winston Cup race?
Exactly.
He did start back in 24th place. First thing you knew was up there in the top 5.
Ended up finishing 5th.
Labonte, Ward Burton, Jeff Purvis, Jeff in the 4 car, Mike McLaughlin in the 34 Royal Oak.
Yeah, that's 17th, 18th, and 19th right there on your screen. 34, 4, and 5. Purvis, who won the race here in the spring, driving for James Finch, the David Lee Murphy car.
You know, they told me that David Lee Murphy is like an associate sponsor on that car. They're looking for their primary because David, he just can't sing enough dates to be a primary sponsor, although he helps out all he can, but there's only 7 days in a week, and he sings all those days. But okay. Jeremy Mayfield battling with Jeff Green. That's Jeff, the Goodrich Chevrolet, car owned by Dale and Teresa Earnhardt, as Jerry said.
That's 8th and 9th position. Mark Martin's Winn-Dixie roof cam. Got a great view of that battle right in front of him. Of course, Mark Martin running last night, finishing 9th in the Valvoline Ford in the Miller 400. Mayfield, Ned, he just can't quite get enough oomph to get by.
Just can't get the run off the corner that he needs.
And both
now he might get it.
And both those drivers from Owensboro, Kentucky, Jeremy and the Green boys, and Darrell and Michael Walter.
Now Jeff Green trying to pull that patented Earnhardt maneuver where he lets him go by and sneaks back on the inside. Couldn't make it move. Here's Ron Barfield Jr. in the New Holland Tractors car, number 94. He's getting passed by Mike McLaughlin. That's for 16th position.
There's Purvis trying to go by as well. Right behind him is Terry Labonte. A lot of heavy traffic back there.
Ron Barfield didn't run the Winston Cup race last night, but he was in Bill Elliott's pit, who owns that race car, watching every time they made a pit stop. He looked at the tires that came off Elliott's car, went over, engaged them, took a look at them. They know it's the same race tire that they ran last night and Thursday night that are running on the Busch cars today.
And here is the battle for second place. Kenny Wallace has it. Randy LaJoie wants it. And here, David Green is taking position from Jimmy Spencer.
That's a 4 spot as Green now begins working his way. And remember, that's a distance right there. There is Kenny Wallace. There is Bobby Labonte, the left of your screen, the Shell-sponsored colors. There's the car number 95, who's the point leader. He is now maybe about 12 car lengths behind the third place car, which is Randy LaJoie, who most importantly is second in the points.
David Green is 2 1/10 seconds behind the leader, Bobby Labonte. Now that he's gotten around the traffic back there about 5 laps ago, he was running in 6th position. Now he's running 4th. He got around Michael Walter.
Hope you're enjoying our live coverage. NASCAR Busch Series action from Richmond International Raceway. John Kernan, Bill Weber, Ned Jarrett, Benny Parsons, yours truly, Jerry Punch.
LaJoie's taking a look. It looks like LaJoie right now is the faster of the 2 cars. If he could get by Kenny Wallace in the 8 car, I think he'd make some progress towards catching the 44 of Labonte. But right, he might have him now. He's got position. Kenny Wallace wisely backs off and lets him have the position.
Yeah, look there. He's getting off the turn much better. See, when he accelerated, he just pulled right on out. A good car length coming off of that turn. I notice he's been doing it coming off of turn 4 as well.
But that cat sneaking in on him. That Caterpillar machine. There's David Green. Started 8th, currently in 4th position. Let's check it in the pits with John Kernan.
Back in the garage area, Tim Fino has brought his car in, and we all saw what had happened out there on the racetrack. But Tim, why'd you have to call it today?
Well, we've been getting batted around like a pinball lately, it seems like, but just been a rough race, and I feel bad for the guys. They worked real hard. We had a good car today. Just bad for Kleenex, but it ripped the suspension out of the frame, and just one of them things. We ain't had a lot of luck lately, but we're going to keep our heads up, keep smiling, and go on to Dover and hopefully have a better day there.
Well, that's Tim Fiedel with keeping smiling. And guys, you should have seen it when he was driving the car very slowly down pit road. It was like bouncing up and down like it was going through potholes.
Boy, maybe it is true that nice guys do indeed finish last. He will be credited for 41st place today. Tim Fiedel, and his last 3 finishes, guys, have been 42nd, 21st, and 40th.
Jeremy Mayfield in 98 as he tries to go by the 23 of Chad Little. That is for 7th spot.
We mentioned that Michael Waltrip had a problem a little bit ago. Let's check in their pits.
I just talked to Ronnie Silver a few laps ago and asked him what the problem was with Michael's car, and he said, well, the car all of a sudden after the first couple of laps got extremely loose, so we would anticipate the next caution, if they get one before their scheduled round of pit stops, that they'll make some adjustment. Ronnie said they were toying with either air pressure or making a wedge adjustment, but they will try and tighten that car up.
Well, thank you very much, John. We'll watch for that adjustment on the Michael Waltrip NW Windows car. Finally, Jeremy Mayfield has gotten by Chad Little. That's the man they're chasing right there. 44 of 250 laps are complete. It is Bobby Labonte, Randy LaJoie, Kenny Wallace, David Green, and Jimmy Spencer in the top 5. We'll be right back to Richmond after this. NASCAR Busch National Series Autolite Platinum 250. New leader up front as Randy LaJoie has moved by Bobby Labonte and now begins to move away.
And David Green has caught that front threesome. He has come from a little over 2 seconds back. And here's how Randy LaJoie took the lead. Comes up, and Bobby just all of a sudden slows down going into the turn. Apparently motioned for him to go by and just drove right on around.
What's the trouble, John Kernan?
I just talked to Bobby's crew chief, Brian Fraser. He said, well, Bobby's called, radioed in, said the car has gotten awfully loose. So they decided it was too early in the race for him to try to hold off LaJoie. So he told Bobby, just let LaJoie get around you, let him lead some laps for a while. As soon as we get a chance to pit, we'll fix the car, tighten it back up, and you can race again.
And same thing happened back there with Kenny Wallace. David Green was up there working on him and taking a little air off of his spoiler, making his car that much looser. And so he just slowed down and said, okay, you go on by and take that 3rd position over.
Back to the lead, we see Randy LaJoie still leading the Fina car, Michelle car, Cat, and Red Dog. That's the first 4 cars.
LaJoie had 2/3 here in 95. Finished 6th here in the spring in that Fina Chevrolet. Steve Bird, the crew chief. Bill Bumgardner owns that machine. There's a Red Dog machine back in 4th position. But what a nice announcement for Caterpillar and David Green about going Winston Cup next year with Buzz McCall's operation.
The entire team is just going to step up. Taking the entire team, and instead of running the Busch Series, they will be running the NASCAR Winston Cup Series, and they are just absolutely delighted.
Sunoco coming on board as an associate sponsor for Buzz McCall, so look for them to be one of the many that will try to make it on Sundays.
Ron Barfield, a 94 New Holland car, trying to go Mike McLaughlin, takes it away. And he says, thank you, Mike, for making it as easy as you could. And David Green takes over that 3rd spot, the 2nd spot, actually, from Bobby Labonte.
And Terry Labonte loses a spot to Dick Trickle.
Yeah, he had been up there. We showed him in 19th place. He had progressed up to that point, but now he has dropped back to 20th position. He got up there to 19th and just held it, couldn't go any farther.
There's Buckshot Jones behind them. There comes Buckshot, the black Aquafresh car.
Buckshot a winner this year at Milwaukee.
We might mention these cars qualified on Thursday afternoon and only in 1 round of qualifying, and then the rains came late Thursday evening, and that's what shortened the truck race. The NASCAR crashed the truck race. They haven't been back on the racetrack since Thursday afternoon, so it is totally different today than it was Thursday when they qualified.
Yes, it was overcast, about 70 degrees, and very chilly. Now back to the lead as David Green closes in on the back bumper of LaJoie. Now, Randy LaJoie does not want to see any. And Purvis going by Jeff Green.
So Purvis continues the march towards the front, that 13th position.
Here's Mark Martin and Jimmy Spencer. Spencer in the white car number 20, Martin. That's the familiar Winn-Dixie 60 car, so that's for 6th position. Looking Out the back at Jimmy Spencer Zippo Chevy. That car is owned by Jimmy. It's his own racing team, Busch team.
Jeremy Mayfield has moved up into 5th position. He's pretty far ahead of these cars.
Well, up front, Randy LaJoie is leading the race, but he is second in the point standings. Of course, the guy who's following him right now, David Green, is our point leader. And boy, what a battle they have had the past 10 or 12 races. Green tries to make a move, can't quite do it.
He gets up there and works on that rear bumper and gets that car a little bit looser than what it already is. Randy might just let him go by. Unlike Winston Cup racing, there are no bonus points for leading in Busch competition.
Take a look here. Randy LaJoie's been trying to take that point lead and just can't quite do it. 10 races ago, 87, midseason 106, 5 races ago, 75, and now it's back to 100, Benny. But every time LaJoie looks in the mirror, there's David Green.
And right now, he can look in that side view mirror because David Green has got to run. Cannot quite make it. But he's pressuring LaJoie. Right now, LaJoie is the guy that's really working hard. David Green is just, this is fairly easy for him. And we've got a crash on the backstretch. That's Jim Bound in the Lux car and the double-zero Buckshot. And no caution flag.
No caution as of yet. Carl Simmons, yeah, now he'll wave it. And now Simmons will wave the flag.
Well, that was good. It was really good that NASCAR did wave the caution flag because he was going to have to pull into traffic to get the car turned around.
So you're replaying what happened. There's Buckshot's Aqua Fresh machine.
Well, there's Terry Labonte in the 5 car, Bowing in the car number 51, and here comes Buckshot in the car 00 down on the inside, and they make contact, and around goes the Lux car of Jim Bowen and the Aqua Fresh car of Buckshot Jones.
And I don't think either one of them hit anything, although they did destroy a set of tires.
Nice move by Elton Sawyer to be able to go high in the Lipton T car and miss that action. Elton was right behind Buckshot. Did an abrupt turn of the steering wheel to the right, went around him.
Such a tough break for Buckshot because he's losing. This is about the 3rd lap that he's lost, and here all the leaders are on pit road.
Single file, 45 miles an hour here on lap 64. Let's go to John Kernan.
45 miles an hour. Bobby Labonte, who dropped from the lead back to 3rd, is in. It'll be a 4-tire change for Bobby. They also anticipate a round of wedge in the left rear. Remember, the car had gotten very loose. They're trying to tighten it up. Let's get down to Bill Weber.
Randy LaJoie is here. 4 tires. They've already cleaned the grill. The 44 car also on pit road. The right sides are on. They tighten the lugs. They come around to the left side. David Green is pitted directly behind LaJoie in the 74. They're working now on the left side of the 95. LaJoie waits in his favorite car. The 8 car is the first car off pit road, followed by Randy LaJoie. John Kernan.
A problem with the left front for Bobby Labonte. A lug nut fell off, and Brian Frazier had to, and Green's also still in, had to put the lug nut back on to get it tightened up. So Labonte was late leaving the pits, cost him several seconds.
And Phil Parsons he's got a tire in front of him that he's pushing around. Now he finally gets the tire off, but he loses several positions.
Well, that's a tough break for him. He had to back up, actually, to get that tire from underneath his front end.
Boy, he had been on the move in this field. Tough break, and there were a couple of tires that had rolled across pit road. Here's Phil again. Watch him.
He's got the tire, and he finally stops. He tries to get the car off. There's the position goes by. Glenn Allen goes by. Michael and the
Curtis Markham.
Curtis Markham goes by. Ward Burton goes by. Trickle goes by. How many was that?
That was 6 of them who went by in there. Tough break.
Boy, it can happen in a hurry here in the pits at Richmond International Raceway. Under caution for the 2nd time. We'll be right back. Under caution. Everyone's been on and off pit road. Boy, what an afternoon we got coming up. 3 o'clock Eastern time. We're going to settle an IndyCar championship out at the beautiful Monterey Peninsula, the Grand Prix of Monterey. Jimmy Vasser, Michael Andretti, and Al Unser Jr. starting 5th, 11th, and 13th. And if you win the race and lead the most laps, you can pick up a total of 21 points. So, folks, it's up for grabs. And that's coming your way on ESPN this afternoon at 3 o'clock Eastern.
Try to get that lap back. All green, Tony.
Jimmy Spencer in the 20 car is a lap down, lost a lap on pit road. He will try his doggonest to get it back. Look at Chad Little, 3 abreast on the inside of the 15 of Tony Stewart. And they just drive Michael Rich in the O2 car up out of the groove.
Tony Stewart had a great pit stop. I don't know. He was 14th when he came out. He was in 4th place.
Sorry, Jerry.
How about it, John Kernan?
Well, at first I thought they might have changed just 2 tires, but I went up and talked to Tony's crew, and they said, nope, 4-tire change in 22 seconds. Also, Kenny Wallace, he is now taking over the lead here in the pits. It was a 4-tire change for Gil Martin-led crew. That was in about 21 seconds. Let's go to Bill Weber.
Well, Phil Parsons' crew says his car is going to be okay. Michael Waltrip lost valuable time in the pits, making a rear sway bar adjustment. It just took too long. So Parsons trying to battle his way back to the front. Michael Waltrip will try and make up on the track what he lost in the pits.
And they're black flagging Jimmy Spencer's car number 20. And now he pulls it out. He was trying to get his lap back and was back on the lead lap. Now he comes down pit road, peels out down in front of Kenny Wallace. There's a Zippo Chevrolet.
Jerry, I wonder if it might not be, if they were lining up for the restart going into turn 3, he pulled up in front of Stevie Reeves, who also was a lap down. And Stevie was the first car up there, and Jimmy just went right on around him. You really can't do that. And I suspect that's what it was about.
He advanced under the caution, and that cost him a stop and go.
So now he's once again a lap down. Battle for second spot between Mayfield in the 98, Randy LaJoy in the 74. Chad Little once again in the John Deere car continues a good run towards the front. The 95 car of David Green did not have a particularly good stop. There he is. Hired back in 11th spot as he follows Bobby Labonte. He tries to get on the end. Bobby Labonte didn't have a particularly good stop either. He went from running second to back in 10th spot.
We'll show you the pit stop summary. We'll show you what happened to some of these guys and how far they fell back. Look at David Green, what Benny was just talking about. 2nd to 12th, Bobby Labonte. 3rd to 10th. Kenny Wallace, that 20-second pit stop that John Kernan told you about, puts him in the lead. And Tony Stewart's 22-second stop. Remember, this is Busch Series action, so the rules are a little bit different in the pits. A little less experience on those 4-tire changes, but 14th to 4th for Tony Stewart. Let's check in with Bill Weber.
Well, Jerry, you know, usually the Busch race is run before the Winston Cup race, the day before, and a lot of these crews use Winston Cup crewmen when they make their pit stops. Since the Cup race was run last night, most of the Winston Cup guys are home watching this race on TV, so they've had to make some changes along pit road. That could mean longer stops, valuable seconds lost on pit road throughout the day.
Guys, another car that made a very good pit stop was Elliott Sadler in that 29 car. You see Mayfield going around the FINA car of Randy LaJoy, but he came out in 5th place. Elliott Sadler having a great run. Another big announcement here for him this weekend.
And Tony Stewart is off the pace in the 15 car. Off the pace, it looks like he might be headed toward pit road. And yes, and look at the smoke coming out the exhaust. So the engine went sour on the 15. Too bad.
Boy, Tony, who qualified 16th, and it was being shown in the top 5. There is Purvis in the 4 car inside of Jeff Green, the Goodrich Chevy, and you're riding along with the roof cam. The Winn-Dixie Ford, will it get there? Yeah, he gets there, and he gets by the green car headed into turn 3.
Let's take a look at a field summary.
The 02 is Michael Rich. Behind him is the 81 of Todd Bodine. You see, he's being shown back in 12th position on our field summary. 80 laps are complete of 250 here at Richmond International Raceway.
And the car number 73 going behind the wall, Eddie Johnson. Ashland Ford.
One of the local drivers here, Ned, from right up the road in Ashland, Virginia. And look at Michael Rich trying to go by the 3 car of Jeff Green, and does it. Michael Rich, another local driver. And there's Bobby Labonte trying to dive under the double zero of Buckshot. He makes it. Oh, almost some contact now. David Green follows. And there comes Purvis.
That 7th and 8th spot, 7th, 8th, 9th, and 10th. You see on your screen there, the 44, 95, 4, and 60.
Unfortunately, Buckshot lost 4 laps when he spun.
Keep digging, he's still there.
Battle for 20th spot
Still
between Hermie
outside.
Sadler, the 1, Curtis Martin.
Clear high.
Well, we said Tony Stewart had a rough day and a short afternoon. He's now with John Kernan.
Back in the garage area, Tony talking things over with his crews. You saw a lot of smoke coming out of the header pipes. What happened, Tony?
We just lost the cylinder. It felt like it burned a piston. So, you know, we had a pretty good run going. We were just kind of biding our time and had a good bunch of guys to race with there that were kind of just staying in one group. So we were just kind of waiting for later on in the race to go hard.
Where are you going to race next, and what are you going to race next?
Well, I guess the next one's Las Vegas with the IRL car and Team Menard. And after that, I got to look on the schedule. I can't keep track more than about a week at a time when you run 3 or 4 races a week.
Tony Stewart, one of the busiest guys in racing in the garage area right now with engine problems.
Boy, talented driver. They are 3 wide there, Ned.
Mark Martin came off the turn 4 on the inside of the 4 car, and who was that other one, Benny?
Buckshot on the outside, and they were absolutely 3 abreast.
Wow. Well, this guy right here is on cruise control. That's Kenny Wallace. Got that red dog. He is ready to hunt. Whoa, Michael Waltrip on the move. Open up the windows. Here comes Michael.
I don't think that set of tires that they put on the 3 cars to Jeff Green's liking. A lot of cars have passed him.
Well, 164 to go. Kenny Wallace being shown as our leader. Jeremy Mayfield, Chad Little, Randy LaJoy, and Ron Barfield in the top 5. We'll be right back. Well, the big red dog is hunting the day here at Richmond Raceway. Yes, Kenny Wallace has it on cruise control in his Ford Thunderbird. Gil Martin and company, the Phil Martossi-owned car. Thus far being shown as our leader here. Well, we told you the red dog's on the hunt. Let's see if that cat's on the prowl. Back there, the Caterpillar car for David Green. There he is, the car number 95. Right in front of Mark Martin, 60. Ron Barfield getting a challenge from Bobby Labonte.
Barfield also the 29 car. Trying to get on the inside of him. It's Elliott Sadler. Barfield passed Sadler just a few laps ago and had put some distance on him, but now Sadler comes back. Buckshot go.
Well, it's a shame Buckshot lost those 4 laps in that spin. He's had cars running awfully well now. Ricky Pearson and the crew got that car down there. There's Elliott Sadler's WCW car, the Gary and Carolyn Bechtel-owned car that Sandy Jones turns the wrenches on. Whoa, a little contact almost between Sadler and Buckshot.
And I started to mention a moment ago before Tony Stewart had his problems that made a big announcement here this week that Elliott Sadler has signed a long-term deal with the Gary Bechtel team to drive in the Busch series.
Well, they are really high on him, Ned. 21 years of age, younger brother of Hermie Sadler. Went to Indianapolis. And went to Michigan, Bristol, and Darlington. Never been to any of those 3 tracks, the last 3 tracks, and was very impressive, particularly at Bristol, Tennessee.
Yes, he had done an awfully good job in that WCW car, and I'm sure we'll do a great job in 1997. See Terry Labonte back behind Stevie Reeves as he tries to get towards the front. Todd Bodine in the middle, and there we see a gaggle of cars led by Hermie Sadler, Glenn Allen, Mark Green, and Jason Keller in the 57. Mark Green in the 37. Probably the least familiar car of all the group to you fans. They announced the 37 car will be back next year. Full year on the Busch Grand NASCAR Busch Grand National Series.
Good for Mark Green. He is the middle brother. David is the oldest, 38. Mark is 37, and Jeff is 33. Keeping score at home as to how old these Green boys are from Owensboro.
And I tell you, someone who's catching this group is Phil Parsons. We saw him have that trouble on pit road running over that tire. He had come through half of the field after taking a provisional to get in the field before that caution. And now Phil working his way back up there, being shown in 22nd place. So he has a good race car.
Excuse me, how many spots did you count him losing at the end of pit road a moment ago?
Six spots right there. In that little situation where he had to stop and back up and get off that tire.
And then he had to come back to the pits to get the front end check to make sure it didn't do any damage. So yes, the channel lock car seems to be running awfully well.
Showing 100 laps complete here of 250. Autolite Platinum 250 Busch Series event. Stop number 22 out of 26. Here's Elliott Sadler and Jeff Purvis. Couple of Chevy side by side. Sadler has the advantage.
9th position they're battling for.
It looks like that Purvis is going to be able to take the spot away. Well, I thought he would. But Elliott decided he wants to make it a little tough, so he drives hard on the outside. And
still side by side. Now Purvis gets the shot off of turn 2. Sadler says, well, I might as well fall.
They finally did make some contact, just a little bit. But now Purvis has the position firmly in hand. He's able to come off the corner and use the entire racetrack, and that will pick up his speed around the racetrack. There's Terry Labonte trying to get by Buckshot Jones. And Labonte's car is uncharacteristically just not like Terry Labonte's car. Always runs so well. That Bear car runs so well in the NASCAR Busch Series. He is struggling today, Dan.
Well, even though he might be struggling a little bit, but he started 30th and he's now running 11th, so he's...
I guess everybody likes to struggle that way, right?
All right.
Take a look at the brothers Green. There's Herbie Sadler and Elton Sawyer. There's a couple of Green brothers. Mark in the 37, Jeff in the 3.
And they're running 18th and 19th.
And the 57 car of Jason Keller will be the 20th place car.
Slim Jim car, and right behind them is Phil Parsons. He has caught him. He's up to 21st now.
As Phil Parsons takes the channel lock colors and tries to make his way toward the front, back in 21st position now, picking them off one at a time, watching them rub fenders at Richmond International Raceway. What was supposed to be a shootout at sundown turns into a showdown on Sunday afternoon, courtesy of Hurricane Fran. It came through here on Friday. Glad you're with us for our live action from beautiful Richmond International Raceway, where we ran the Winston Cup show last night. By the way, congratulations to Ernie Irvin again.
Well, look at the points leaders going at it here. David Green trying to take over the 4th position from Randy LaJoy. And there's Mark Martin right behind him. But he can't go anywhere because they're running side by side.
Well, a moment ago, he made it 3 abreast, and as he came off turn 4, maybe he'll do the same thing. No, he didn't get quite enough run to try to do that on this lap.
David Green has come from, he was about 12th or something after the pit stops. Didn't have a very good pit stop, but worked his way back up, trying to take over 4th now.
Boy, Butch Enders, Kurt Shelverdine, and the rest of that crew there, the Buzz McCall Caterpillar crew, done a heck of a job to put a car under David Green today, and he's done a well of a job driving it.
Nobody drives cleaner than that guy, David Green.
And that's sort of been a knock against him, man, that people almost said he drives too clean.
That he's maybe not as aggressive as he needs to be at times. He takes care of the equipment. He's so smooth that he's so nice and just, he'll take more than he'll give in situations like that. But he's smart here at this point of this race.
But I think that pays off in the long run.
Absolutely. Yeah, I think so.
No one can fault you for being courteous.
Well, just think next year, we mentioned he's going to Winston Cup race with this entire team next year. When you drive like David Green, you don't tear up a lot of race cars. And as a rookie in Winston Cup, that's the one thing that you've got to try and not do is tear up race cars. If your crew spends all of their time working on damaged race cars, you never are able to maintain and try to make the cars go faster. You're all the time fixing wrecks, and you get in that rut, and you simply cannot work your way out of it.
Good point.
Well, LaJoie pulls in front of David Green, but there's the man they're chasing, Kenny Wallace. Red Dog, Ford Thunderbird showing the way after 112 of 250 laps here at Richmond International Raceway. We'll be back. Raceway, Richmond, Virginia. Our live coverage of Busch Grand National Series action, NASCAR style. Kenny Wallace has not won in 1996 in Busch competition. His last win came right here a year ago.
Well, if he's going to win, certainly Richmond International Raceway would be the place to do it. There's something about Kenny Wallace and this racetrack. This is magic for him.
And this race team. Remember Bobby Hamilton blew the field away when he was driving for the Marcossi team a number of years ago?
There's a second place car, number 98, Jeremy Mayfield. What a good run Jeremy's having today. There you show the differential, the interval leaderboard. Mayfield will show you where Chad Little is coming. There's Chad Little in the John Deere car. And Chad's best finish this year has been 8th. He has not had a top 5 in over a season. His last top 5 came in August of 95 at Bristol, Tennessee. Whoa, Spencer got a handful of steering wheel right in front of David Green.
He really did.
Probably scared David Green as much as he did us.
Spencer has gone another lap down. He's being shown 2 laps down in 33rd position now. His car just not handling today. You can see it. Comes off the corners, wiggling.
And guys, what a surprise. Mark Martin's on the move.
Yeah, he's up in 5th spot. That's Eddie Johnson right behind. We mentioned he was in the garage area. Well, he repaired the car, came back out on the racetrack, and has been running awfully fast.
Yeah, I think whatever they did to it, Benny, they made it faster.
Yes.
And what he's doing is out there just trying to get some experience and get some laps.
And you see right behind Eddie Johnson's car, that blue car, that is the 74 car of LaJoie. The 6th place car, there's Randy. And the FINA Chevrolet Monte Carlo, 4-time winner, 1996 Busch action. And we pan back and show you Bobby Labonte, who was our early leader, sat on the front row, qualified 2nd in the Shell Chevrolet. Beecher Hetland Motors out of the Labonte Stables up in Trinity, North Carolina. That's the 8th place car of Jeff Purvis. James Finch owned car. Mark Reno, Johnny Allen and Company. They're in 8th spot, and here's Ron Barfield. Good run for Barfield. Maybe a wave of the future in Busch Series racing. Benny Parsons, 25-year-old Ron Barfield in the car number 94, and the guy that's running right behind him, Elliott Sadler, at 21 years of age. Remember those names, folks, Barfield and Sadler.
The 5 cars, the next car behind there. Evidently, our pylon is not up to date because Terry Labonte has now moved up to 10. There he goes.
There we go. We changed. There.
And Todd Bodine is the 11th place car. Bodine is having an excellent run today in the Cape Canaveral Cruises car. Started where?
37th.
37th and is now in 11th spot.
How about that for Toddley? There is Terry Labonte. The Actron car number 5. Started 30th, early 10th. Boy, what a run he had here last night. Michael Waltrip loops it around, gets the car, tags the wall, has some front end damage on the NW Windows Ford. Still no caution flag. He is on pit road with heavy damage to the right front. And boy, he's pushed it in about 1.5 feet.
Yeah, I expect he's finished for the day since he's not running for points. Halfway mark.
And that was our pole sitter. The NW Windows car, Michael Waltrip, sat on the pole, and in the wall ruined his day.
Okay, see if we can see the end of it here just a moment ago as the crew now tries to get a jack under the car.
He's already made contact with the outside retaining wall. He's just simply driving down to pit road.
I wonder if he might have had a tire go down or something that caused him to get into the wall, because it looks like he did hit it with that right front.
There's Ronnie Silver and the crew trying to put a pry bar, finally the jack under the car. Tough break for our pole sitter here, Michael Waltrip, in the pits. Kenny Wallace, our leader, back with more from Richmond after this. There's Kenny Wallace as he puts Phil Parsons 1 lap down. Phil Parsons running in 18th position as now 17 cars are on the lead lap. Chad Little getting a challenge for 3rd spot.
Yeah, David Green has caught him, and Mark Martin is coming right with him. They both now have passed Chad Little, so Green has taken over 3rd, Mark Martin 4th, and dropped Chad Little back to 5th place. And David Green has gained Phil Parsons coming into the pits, and David Green has chopped off about 3 seconds of the lead that Kenny Wallace has now. So he and Mark Martin both are coming on up on him.
Let's go down and see if we can find out what exactly happened to Michael Waltrip. Bill?
Well, Michael was sky high on Thursday when the car he owns and drives won the pole. But what put you out here, Michael?
We were passing another car and just got together. I wound up with the short end of the stick, but disappointing day. We didn't really have the car right, but it's a new car, and we tried some stuff. Didn't work. We'll be smarter next time, give her a better run.
Okay, that's Michael Waltrip. He's out, and the caution is out. I believe it's for debris, guys.
That's what we're hearing, debris on the racetrack. So what a tough break for Phil Parsons, who had just made a pit stop as the caution. In fact, he's on pit road and sits on pit road now with a stop sign in front of him. He cannot leave, and now they turn it to Grove, so now Phil Parsons can leave. Here's our leader. There's Phil leaving. Meanwhile, at the opposite end, here comes Kenny Wallace and Jeremy Mayfield, our front 2 cars. Green, Martin, and Little following them. Let's go down to John Kernan.
Kenny Wallace pulls his Ford Thunderbird into his pit stall. Gil Martin and the crew will go to work. 95, 8, 95, and 74 all stacked. 3 on your screen. Right side tires already off for Kenny Wallace. The crew swings around to the left side. Air engines swing into action. Tires off. Let's go down to Bill Weber.
David Green is here, and so is the 74. Randy LaJoie, right side for the 95 and the 74. They clean the grill on David Green's Caterpillar Chevrolet. The 8 car getting ready to leave. He's off pit road, just getting to the left side down here for the 95 and the 74. Green now is down and away. Almost makes contact with Mayfield and cuts off Mark Martin. Waiting now on left side tires for the 74. Long stop for Randy LaJoie. He's down, he's away.
And while all that was going on, Phil Parsons' problems get worse. He left pit road a moment ago after making a pit stop under, and then the caution comes out. He is back on pit road. Apparently he had a problem with the left rear.
It left.
It's gone.
The tire's laying in the grass. There it is. The tire's laying in the grass just before the start-finish line. Evidently, when the caution flag was out, Phil decided to leave, and they was going to change 4 tires. We're going to change 4 tires, and with the lug nuts off, he left. And there we see the tire goes up, bounces off the wall, and rolls down and lays down in the grass.
Well, he'll go pick that one up, as thrifty as Phil is. He'll say, go get that one. Let's put that one on the car. As we're under caution once again for the 3rd time today here at Richmond International Raceway. Lap 136. There's the Channel Lock Chevy. Yeah, he's back on the racetrack. And we'll come back with more live action after this. Track Facts are brought to you by Quaker State, the motor oil that exceeds the highest standards for engine protection.
Hi, everybody. You're looking through a full-face helmet. Now, that's what most drivers in the Busch Series and the NASCAR Winston Cup Series wear for protection. As you can see, it gives you plenty of protection around the head. You close the visor, and you're all set to go. That's the full-face helmet. Well, let me show you something else. This is an open-face helmet, and this is the kind of helmet that Ward Burton wears. Ward has a very bad headache today because last night he was involved in a tough wreck here, and he actually hit his forehead underneath here on the steering column. He's got a bruise along the top of his forehead and some bruises around the bridge of his nose and his eyes. As I mentioned, he has a real bad headache. Now, Dale Earnhardt wears a helmet similar to this for vision. He says it gives him better peripheral vision so he can see the cars around him on the racetrack. Ward Burton wears a helmet like this because he has asthma and has difficulty breathing when he wears the full face helmet. So different helmets for different drivers for different reasons. Jeff Burton, Ward's brother, wears a full face. He wishes his brother did too.
Well, there are differing philosophies. Dale Earnhardt says he thinks the full-face helmets are dangerous. Thinks he would have hurt his neck in Talladega had he been wearing a full-face helmet. Well, the debate continues. We'll be back at Richmond after this.
When the Hendrick team switched.
Back at Richmond, we got a championship battle here. We got one that's going to be decided. That's coming up next. The Grand Prix of Monterey. Vassar, Andretti, and Unser Jr. starting 5th, 11th, and 13th, folks. We're going there next at 3 o'clock for the Grand Prix of Monterey on the beautiful Monterey Peninsula out in California. Paul Page and all the ESPN crew out there. And we're going to decide the IndyCar title. That's coming up at 3 o'clock Eastern on ESPN.
Here's the battle for the 4th position. Chad Little trying to take it away from Mark Martin. It's a run down coming off of turn 2. Right up in front of them, Davey Green has run side by side with J.C. Keller for about 3 laps. Keller made a green flag pit stop, so he is a lap down. But Davey Green is using up time and tires down on the inside there.
And Jeff Purvis is run by Randy LaJoy. There we see Purvis won by LaJoy. And Bobby Labonte is going to try to follow, but cannot quite make it.
That's back for 6th, 7th, and 8th spot. As they've gone by. The 23 car being shown in 4th. There's the Winn-Dixie car in 5th position. Our AutoZone race recap shows that Kenny Wallace is our leader, has led 81 of 145 laps. There have been 3 lead changes, 3 caution flags for a total of 18 laps. And the average speed down because of those caution flags, 97.389 miles per hour. Our leaders, of course, Kenny Wallace has led the bulk of this event, 81 laps. Bobby Labonte has led his number, 44. Randy LaJoy, 16. And our pole sitter, Michael Waltrip, is out of the event now, led 4 laps. Out of race, Tim Fedewa, Tony Stewart, Tommy Houston, and Michael Waltrip. By the way, we hear Tony Stewart may be standing by the relief drive for Dick Trickle.
And Mark Martin is losing spots. Jeff Purvis goes by. Bobby Labonte goes by.
It looks like Mark Martin may have waved the 4-car by.
He's talking to Kenny Wallace down in the garage area the other day and said, you know, someone comes up and pressures you like that, the best thing you can do is move over and lose 3/10 one time rather than fighting for him lap after lap and losing 2/10 every lap.
I agree with him totally on that concept, and you lessen your chances of getting bumped, unintentionally. And I agree with that philosophy. I mean, sure, you're here to race, but you got to look at the overall picture, and that is part of racing. It's smart racing.
Well, we told you about Phil Parsons losing the wheel a little bit ago. And here's how it sounds when it happens. Riding along with Phil.
What in the world happened here all of a sudden?
That's not a good sound for sure.
Well, he just showed so much composure. He just reached up, put it back down in 3rd gear, and slowed down.
And LaJoy comes up right on the back bumper of Mark Martin.
Phil Parsons is 3 laps down now in 31st position.
These 2 guys here are 7th and 8th spot. Big old Monte Carlo logo looking out the back of that Ford Thunderbird, the Winn-Dixie colors for Mark Martin. Drivers having won 4 times each in Busch Series competition this year. Both Martin and LaJoy we're talking about. The 60 and 74. Less than 100 laps to go here at Richmond International Raceway. Bill Weber, John Curtin, Ned Jarrett, Benny Parsons, and yours truly, Jerry Punch, bringing you live NASCAR Busch Series action from the beautiful Richmond International Raceway. And coming up next, of course, we go out to California for IndyCar Championship.
And Ron Barfield is off the pace down the backstretch as LaJoy tries to go by the 60 car. But there we see Barfield down in 1 and 2. Looks like the car just quit, and he's coasted into the pit area, running 12. Tough break.
Back to that battle, Ned, for what, 6th, 7th position?
And it still hasn't changed. LaJoy still trying to get around Mark Martin. Now Martin's opened up a couple of car lengths lead over him. Yeah, there. Martin's in 7th. LaJoy's in 8th.
You're wondering why we haven't mentioned Kenny Wallace. Well, it's sort of a Sunday drive for Kenny Wallace, Benny Parsons. I mean, my goodness, they have that car dialed in. He's just pulling away.
That car is just phenomenal today. The restart happened just a few laps ago, and already he's made that much distance on the 98 car, Jeremy Mayfield.
Jeremy Mayfield's 17th Busch Grand National start, his best finish this year coming up in Nashville, Tennessee back in March. That was his only top 10.
He's been challenge for that second spot because David Green, Ned, he also has a great race car today.
Yes, he does. It takes a little while to come in after he puts new tires on it, Denny, but he gets to be the fastest car on the racetrack as they run on. But he's running about 2 7/10 seconds behind the leader, but he is gaining on the second place car.
There's the fourth place car.
And look at Purvis running that high groove. Man, he's way up there. Purvis is in 5th spot. Labonte's in 6th.
That is 7th and 8th. Car number 60 and the car number 74. Mark Martin and Randy LaJoy.
Jason Keller is being shown 2 laps now, down to 26th position.
And John Kerner, what happened to Ron Barfield, car number 94?
Jerry, he's pulled it behind the wall. The crew has a hose out spraying the radiator. The car is overheated. It's just gotten way, way too hot. They're trying to pull it down. Ron, sitting in the car, still has the window net up, so we haven't been able to talk to him, but I can see the steam just rising off the engine, very hot, and you can also just smell the heat coming off of it.
Well, it's heating up here at Richmond International Raceway. Ron Barfield behind the wall. And we have less than 90 laps to go here in this NASCAR Busch Series event. We'll be right back. Back at Richmond International Raceway, NASCAR Busch Series action, but coming up 2:30 p.m. Eastern Time on ESPN2 now on the Deuce. IndyCar on the grid. That's the pre-race show. Do that live. IndyCar Championship coming up at 3 p.m. Eastern Time on ESPN. That's coming up at the conclusion of our NASCAR Busch Series action from here in Richmond. That's the Grand Prix of Monterey. They're going to set a title, going to crown a champion out there in Monterey this afternoon. And 3 drivers got a shot at it, Vassar, Andretti, and Unser Jr. Well, we got a dog leading, Benny, and a cat running second.
So this time we've got the cat chasing the dog. The Caterpillar car running second. The Red Dog car is running first. And I tell you what, looks like that cat's made some progress, isn't it?
He's definitely made some progress since he got up into the second place. He passed Jeremy Mayfield a while back. He was 2 7/10 seconds behind, and right now he is 2 5/10 seconds. So he's making a little progress.
Jeremy Mayfield is running third, and
we got a deer running fourth.
So we got all kind of animals going around this racetrack that disguised as cars.
There's the John Deere Pontiac. Good run for Chad Little, last year's most popular driver in Busch Series action. And a 6-time winner a year ago. Still looking for that first top 5.
Look at that 4-car, Jeff Purvis, riding that high line, running a higher line than anybody around this racetrack, especially in turns 3 and 4, and it's working for him. Now he has to go to the low side to pass Elliott Sadler, who just went a lap down. Sadler running in the 16th position. Now there are 14 cars on the lead lap. Elton Sawyer just went a lap down to the leader. So they're narrowing the field down.
That's a great battle for second, third, and fourth, and fifth. There we see 2, 3, 4, 5, all nose to tail.
You see Purvis gets down on the inside in turns 1 and 2. Now he's been real. We'll follow him around down through turns 3 and 4 and see if he gets back up on that high side again. Yeah, there he goes.
I mean, he goes halfway to Lynchburg in turn 3, and then makes a turn back to Richmond, comes back down on the low groove, and then, but as you said, then in turns 1 and 2, he's down on the bottom of the racetrack.
That's what his race car's calling for, I guess. He searched around. Well, there he goes. As we say that, he's going to try that down there.
He heard us say that, just wanted to show us that.
The last time I ran Daytona Beach, that's exactly the way the racetrack worked. I ran high in 3 and 4, and on the very bottom in 1 and 2.
Really?
Yes. Because he cools the tires here. He runs up high, and the car does not slip. He really cools the tires, so he's able to get a better grip down in 1 and 2 the next time.
Besides that, he don't have any traffic up here in 3 and 4 to be concerned with.
And look at now, he's up there trying, as Chad Little tries to take over that spot, he'll pass them all on the outside.
They're battling for third spot. The 98 was third. There is Chad Little, and right behind him, is that car number 4 we're talking about of Jeff Purvis. Remember, Purvis won here in the spring.
Now he goes down to the inside. He sees that Chad Little is able to get around the 98 car of Mayfield, so he has to take the low groove. That'll use up a little bit more tire, but he'll get back up there once he gets the opportunity. There's Elton Sawyer in the Lifton T car. He just went a lap down. Elton running in the 15th position.
And guys, those cars are running down the 95 car. They're running down David Green. They're only about 6 car lengths behind Green now out of turns 1 and 2.
Yeah, Green is not gaining like he was before. In fact, he's fell back to about 3.5 seconds behind Kenny Wallace. So Green's car, where he was pulling away from this group and gaining on Kenny Wallace, now is losing in both areas.
Whoa, way up high went Purvis in his groove, but the lap car, Michael Rich, was up there, and he had to pull it down to the inside.
That's Larry Pearson there that they're going by now. That's the Stanley Tool car. It's an unfamiliar colors to you. It's blue and white this week. And you see Mark Martin going by Bobby Labonte, taking over the 6th spot.
Three laps remain here at Richmond International Raceway. Kenny Wallace is our leader. David Green second. Chad Little third. Jeff Purvis, Jeremy Mayfield in heavy traffic for our leader as he begins to move in on some other cars. Laps are winding down. We'll come back with more live action, NASCAR style, after this. Well, Paul, we'll certainly all be watching. That should be one well of a shootout. That's coming up at 3 o'clock Eastern time out in Monterey. Boy, the IndyCar title set to be settled, and I can't wait. That should be a heck of a contest. Back here at Richmond International Raceway, our NASCAR Busch Series action winding down, and they're all chasing that guy right there in the Red Dog Ford Thunderbird, Kenny Wallace.
And Jared, before we went to break, we talked about that David Green was losing ground to Kenny Wallace, and the others were gaining on him. Well, that's changed now. David Green has picked up the pace. He's gaining on Kenny Wallace once again. Has got it down under 3 seconds. He had gone up to about 3.5 seconds behind. And look at this battle for third. Purvis up on the outside, trying to take it away from Chad Little. Let's see if he gets a run off this turn. Yeah, he does, and he's got it.
Let's check in the pits to Bill Weber. Bill?
Well, wholesale changes made on this car last night before the crews were asked to leave the Busch garage. His crew says that's a comfortable groove, the car runs well there, and Jeff Purvis is turning in great times. Remember, he won this race in the spring. We talked at the beginning of this race about experience. He doesn't have a lot of it here, but he did win here in the spring, and that's fresh in his memory. He's fighting his way to the front, and he's picking up some time doing it.
Boy, take a look at this, Bill. You're exactly right. Since the restart, look at Purvis's serial. Started 25th, and the restart, he was 8th, 5th, 4th, and 3rd in lap 185, and he continues to come, man. And that unusual groove is working for him.
I tell you, you got to admire the man for seeking out the groove that works for that race car the way he has it set up today. Doing a great job of driving.
Elliott Sadler comes in the pits. I don't know what this is all about. John Kernan, do you know?
Elliott radioed in and said, I've got a bad vibration. So the crew said, bring it in. We'll change all 4 tires and send you back out, which is a shame for them. They lost another lap here on pit road. They were running well, even though they were down a lap. And, of course, we told everybody about the big announcement. Elliott driving for the Diamond Ridge team full-time next year on the Busch Series.
Great opportunity for 21-year-old Elliott Sadler. A lot of Sadler fans here. Both he and Hermie are from Emporia, Virginia.
We haven't said much about Hermie. He's still in the lead lap in the 13th position in the DeWalt car.
There was a whole section in the grandstand a little bit ago holding up those big DeWalt signs. You know, we love Hermie, and certainly Elliott's got a lot of fans up here in the Commonwealth of Virginia as well.
Another driver that Kenny Wallace just lapped, Curtis Markham, from Fredericksburg, Virginia, about 40-50 miles up the road. There he is in the Lysol car. Also put Jeff Green a lap down. Or that's 2 laps down, I guess, for Jeff Green now in the Goodrich Chevrolet.
You heard Bill Weber mention they made a lot of changes on this car right here on Jeff Purvis before the race. A lot of wholesale changes. That's exactly what Ernie Irvin's crew did last night. They were the last car on the grid. They made a ton of changes on that car. And Larry McReynolds and the crew changed about everything but the number. You saw what happened. That car ended up in victory lane.
A great win for Ernie here last night, the second of the season.
It looks like that he is gaining on the 95 car. I'm talking about the 4 of Purvis. Never seen the Cat car. Not that far in front of him. And Chad Little in the John Deere car is doing pretty well.
Yeah, he's staying right there with Purvis after Purvis got around him, not too far back, and Mark Martin is not far behind Chad Little.
That's the interval between the 4 and the 8 car. That's the third and first place cars of Purvis and Wallace. 3.74 seconds.
0.2 of a second. So he is gaining, and we've got 60 laps to go. So he may have time to get there to that Red Dog car.
Going down again, another 10. 3.42. If you do the math now, 57 laps, a 10. Let's see, carry the 1.
2 tenths.
Oh, I'm sorry, 2 tenths.
2 tenths.
I better stay away from the math then.
Yes, I think.
Okay.
Calculator's not here.
Okay, well, visually, we'll show you the difference. Look at there, 3.30.
Now, that was a 10th of a second.
That was a 10th?
Yeah, back to 10.
Okay.
Uh-oh, back up to 352. So he lost 2 tenths on that shuffle, but he went by a car. He passed Michael Rich down in 1 and 2. He had to do that high, and we've seen that Purvis likes to run low in 1 and 2 and high in 3 and 4. Oh, what's he doing down there on the low side?
Now he's going to try that.
There's a 60 car on the move. Now, we'll keep a count on the math when we come back and let you know how much he's gaining as we come back to Richmond International Raceway after this. Stay with us. Richmond International Raceway, Kenny Wallace 50 laps away from picking up his first win in Busch Series action since the spring of 1995. This win in Richmond we're talking about. Coming up next, the IndyCar finale, the Grand Prix of Monterey. And we're going to crown an IndyCar champion for 1996. Paul Page and all the crew out there in Monterey on the beautiful Monterey Peninsula. That is live. Vassar, Andretti, and Ellinger Jr. Those 3 guys have a shot at it. But what a shootout that should be. It's coming up at 3 p.m. Eastern time right after our conclusion of our live coverage here.
The 14th place car of Mark Green just went a lap down. Now there are 13 cars on the lead lap. Ernie Sadler in the 13th position. He's about 3 seconds in front of the leader.
He's going by Jim Bound in the Lux car.
Okay, the interval down to 3:08. Now it's under 3 seconds, the first to third interval, 2.91 seconds.
So Purvis continues to gain on the leader. And there we see Purvis not but about 5 or 6 car lengths behind David Green in the Cat car.
And David Green is gaining on the leader as well, even though he is gaining a little bit on the 95 car. But you wonder if Kenny Wallace might be just sort of cooling in here right now.
I was going to ask you, we heard that maybe his crew may have said to the two about taking it easy. I mean, how much do you take it easy? These guys are closing in a hurry.
Well, as good as his car's been all day, he may be in the cruise control mode right now and still being able to maintain. This car has been awesome all day long, as it usually is at this racetrack. And we can see what kind of lead he has.
Okay, now in traffic, Purvis behind the Ward Burton car. We'll see that interval grow a little bit as he is stuck in behind the car number 22. It's back up over 3 seconds, almost 3.3 seconds.
Well, you can lose a half a second a lap in a situation like this. Ward Burton being shown in the 18th position, 2 laps down.
I see Mike Dillon in the 72 Detroit Gasket car being overtaken by David Green.
Dillon is 17th, 2 laps down.
And watch that 4 car go in and run that high line around the racetrack. That is really good to see. Just don't see that much anymore. You know, and it's great to see 2 distinct crews on the racetrack. You see David Green, the 95 car, run the bottom of the racetrack and the 4 on top of the racetrack. And it's good to see a driver look around, search on the racetrack for the place that his car runs the best. And Purvis has been doing that all day. He's found some place that his car runs well that no one else, their car doesn't run as well. So my hat's off to Purvis for a great job of driving a race car today.
David Green has lost some ground now to Kenny Wallace. Now, Kenny might have heard us say that they were gaining on him. He said, well, I'll step up here a little bit, guys, and show you that I still got some left in this thing.
Now, other cars might have tried the outside, and their car just doesn't work up there. But obviously, Purvis's car is doing a good job on the top of the racetrack.
Laps are winding down here at Richmond International Raceway. We're going to take one more break here. And when we come back, we're going to stay here to the conclusion of this Autolite Platinum 250 NASCAR Busch Series event. Quick commercial break, and we'll come back and we'll see who's going to flag this thing to the checkers and go to victory lane. Back in a moment. Paul, what a slugfest coming up from Monterey next between Vassar, Andretti, and Unser Jr. for that IndyCar championship. Our Speed World Cup, and they're chasing. He's just about to put Hermie Sadler a lap down, and Ned, he's going to do it.
Yep, he's down on the inside, and he does put, Sadler has moved up to the 12th position now around Todd Bodine. So now there are 11 cars on the lead lap.
Well, let's check in Kenny Wallace's pits where John is standing by.
So Kenny Wallace has got about 34 laps to go to make that 33 right now as he crosses the start-finish line, but the car is not handling. The handle has gone away. He's radioed in and told his crew chief, Phil Martin, it's not handling as good as it was, and they're just trying to coach Kenny into hanging on, being smooth, trying to run consistent laps, and hopefully they can hold off David Green, but David Green is charging hard.
Yes, he is, John. He has cut a 3-second lead down to less than 1.5 seconds now.
And Jeff Purvis is having trouble now. He's not able to maintain the speed he was a moment ago. You ever see David Green as he gets closer and closer? There comes Purvis. And since Kevin LePage in the 28 car with fresher tires came up and started to race with the 4 car, it's really bothered the rhythm of Jeff Purvis.
And we're going to show you the car right behind Purvis, or actually in position behind Purvis. There's the 60 car, the Winn-Dixie Ford of Mark Martin. He is being shown in 4th position as he goes beneath now the lap car of Todd Bodine. Bodine, by the way, being shown in 13th, the lap down.
Boy, his car has just gone on piece of Todd Bodine's car. He had been running well, and he just, the last 10 laps, he's slipping and sliding all over the place.
Chad Little, the 5th place car. There's a 6th place car, Randy LaJoy, the Fina car. 98 is right behind him. That's the red and white car, Jeremy Mayfield. He is 7th, as you can see on the scoring pylon.
Bobby Labonte should be back in 8th position in the car number 44. That's the shell colors, and there comes Bobby, who started on the front row, the 44 car. That's 8th position. Dick Trickle should be in 9th spot, the car number 64. And they are slipping and sliding here. We're looking for Trickle. There is the Duraloo Chevy. Dick Trickle in 9th spot. And the 5 car, there's the Actron Chevy. The Bayer-sponsored car of Terry Labonte. That's a top 10.
Last car on the lead lap is Terry Labonte. The 11th place car, Michael McLaughlin, just went a lap down to the leader, Kenny Wallace.
Car stopped on lap 135, so they've got to run 115 laps. Fuel is not a problem, but Ned, these cars are going to be slipping and sliding when this thing's over.
Man, they are, and I think David Green is the man that hopes that it goes green the rest of the way. His car seems to work better. We mentioned it before on these real long runs. And you also look up, we got some dark clouds up here in the sky. We only have about 25 laps to go as far as racing is concerned, but there's a thunderstorm not too far away from the Richmond International Raceway, and David Green might say, hey, it's time to step it up here just in case.
Let's check in with Bill Weber. Bill?
Well, Jerry, I heard John talking about Kenny Wallace's car, and you guys observing the 4 cars, so I talked to Butch Embers. Their car is perfect. You speculated, Ned, how David was better on long runs, but they want this to be a real long run because they think they can reel in the leader in the final 25 laps here.
Boy, Ned, I want you to pick my lottery numbers for me. You guys know exactly what's happening out there. You climb inside those headsets, inside those helmets, and you see the margin now shrinking almost a second, just a little over a second between first and second.
Yeah, 1 11/100ths of a second. So he is definitely moving in. And Kenny Wallace is coming up on some heavy traffic there that's going to hurt him with his car slipping and sliding a little bit more than David Green. You can see there coming up on Phil Parsons. Phil goes down to the inside of Jimmy Spencer. Then he backs off. He sees the leader coming. Whoa! Spencer gets loose coming off of that turn.
That's the roof cam from Phil Parsons. See the Red Dog car going by.
And here's a spin on the front straightaway, and Cosby's out. Randy Porter has spun And boy, with a little over 20 laps to go, this will change things.
Wow. They've got to come in and get tires, don't they, Ned?
I think so. Yeah, you just about. I'm sure Kenny Wallace will, and then if he does, well, everybody else will have to, because they can't afford to stay out there on the little tires.
Just 10 cars in the lead lap.
Fourth caution flag today, lap 228. Carl Simmons waving the yellow hanky for the fourth time, and boy, that could totally change things. Although Kenny Wallace has had the best race car by far. You see the safety car now on the racetrack. Let's check in the pits with John.
Their previous pit stops for Kenny Wallace, they've averaged right around 20.5 seconds for a tire change. We would anticipate the same thing now. As Kenny leads the field down the lead lap cars, it'll be a 4-tire change. We've not been told of any adjustments. As Kenny gets in, we've got the triple pit for you. You got the 8, the 95, and the 4s. David Green also getting service, and also Jeff Purvis. Right side tires going on for Kenny Wallace. They're already swinging around to the left side of the car. Actually, a bit of a problem on the right front, so that's going to slow him down just a little bit. Let's go down to Bill Weber.
Right side's already on the 95. Right side's taking a long time on the right, front on the 4. Around to the left. Now a tire gets away down here on pit road. 95 working on the left sides. Left side tires going on the 4 car. The 95 is away in a hurry. The 4 still sits on pit road. Still sits. Finally he's down. And then he almost hits Kenny Wallace exiting the pits.
Long pit stop for Kenny Wallace, too, over 28 seconds. They've been turning out those 20-second pit stops, and that was a costly one for him.
But a great pit stop for the car number 95 of David Green. They had a poor pit stop on the previous stop, and that cost Green. You saw when that pit surveyor, he went from like 4th to 12th and had to make it back up on the racetrack. But what a great stop for that crew. Butch Enders put that Caterpillar Chevy back up toward the front.
And a good stop for Chad Little as well. He came out in second place.
Here's what happened that caused the caution flag. There we see Randy Porter come off the corner high, just simply the back end gets out from under it. Around he goes, spins across the start-finish line into the grass. Actually, that was a scoring line, not the start-finish line. He stops the car, really makes contact with nothing, puts it in gear, and drives away.
Well, John Curtin, how about that pit stop for Kenny Wallace?
Well, I told you he had some problems on the right front tire. I talked to Gil Martin. He says we stripped the lug nut, but they were able to get it off, but that slowed him down, about 7-8 seconds from what they had been averaging, and it took an awful long time to get that left front tire on after the right front changer had gotten around. So they are disappointed right now. They're in 4th place, but that car with new tires is like a rocket ship, so we'll have to see if he has enough laps to catch David Green.
And Bobby Labonte comes back into the pits in the Shell car. I don't know what that's all about. Outside pole sitter.
Our pit summary, you see Kenny Wallace, what John Curtin just talking about, in first, out 4th. They had a problem with the lug nut, stripping off that lug nut. David Green, that great pit stop, puts him back in the lead. Purvis, 3rd to 5th. Martin, 4th to 3rd. They improved, had a good stop there. Bobby Leslie and company. And Chad Little's guys, Gary Cogswell, Harold Hawley and company, giving him a good pit stop, getting him back out in 2nd position. Coming up 3 o'clock Eastern time, we're going out to the Monterey Peninsula. The Grand Prix of Monterey is the IndyCar finale, and we are going to have a barn burner out there. Going to crown an IndyCar champion for 1996. Paul Page and all the crew standing by out there. Jimmy Vasser, Michael Andretti, Alex Jr. in that order. Those are the guys that got a shot at it. If you win it and lead the most laps, you can pick up as much as 21 points. Alex Zanardi on the pole. The Grand Prix of Monterey, that's coming up next. We go live to Monterey, California, Laguna Seca Raceway for IndyCar championship action.
All right, they're lining up. The light is out atop the pace car, and that means racing in a half lap.
Yep, Kenny Wallace has been awfully good on new tires, better than David Green, but David Green is the man that has the lead.
Points if they were awarded right now.
I'll give you the go here. Okay, go, go, go.
Chad Little has also been good on fresh tires.
Here comes Kenny Wallace trying to get on the inside of Martin.
Oh, Mark Martin jumps back in the throttle, but the car slides up and Wallace has the inside position on a turn 4.
Kenny Wallace has had a great race car all day long.
John John Kernan, why did Bobby Labonte come back in on pit road?
Well, I asked his crew chief, Brian Frazier, and he didn't really want to tell me, but they made a mistake. They put the left front tire on the right front and vice versa, the right front on the left front. So they had to come in and make that swap with the front tires.
Oh, no, that does not work very well here at Richmond, 3 abreast. But those guys made it work, and now they're going to try it even one more time.
Wow. They're all going for position back there.
That's 5th, 6th, 7th, and 8th right back there in 64 car.
It's Trickle.
And Chad Little is going for the lead in turn 1. Can he do it? Not quite. Here he comes again. Trying to get up nose up alongside. And there's that 8 car, Kenny Wallace. He's got to go try to go by on the outside.
Boy, cat, deer, and the dog. If you're keeping score of the animal counts at home, the cat's a lead, the deer's on the inside, and the dog is challenging heavy. Red Dog, Ford Thunderbird, and Kenny Wallace sneaks underneath the John Deere Pontiac, and they are side by side. As laps are winding down, 14 to go, and they are door to door for second spot.
Best thing that can happen to David Green is for those guys to run side by side back there. It gives him a little bit of a cushion.
And Jeff Purvis, the 4 car, was able to get by Mark Martin, so he goes up and is going to join this battle.
Boy, they are driving their hearts out. The rainstorm moving in and the checkered flag nearing. Coming near here. Oh, and Purvis hits the wall.
Oh, man.
Still goes. Still in the throttle.
But he's damaged the car. We see I saw the left rear tire sticking out the exhaust, so out the left side. So he has made some pretty serious contact with the right side of the car.
And Kenny Wallace able to make the pass on Chad Little. Now Wallace, can he reel in David Green?
All right, Jeff Purvis driving that car. He has made some serious damage to the car. But now, can the 8, the Red Dog, can he catch that cat?
That's the way it's supposed to be, a dog chasing the cat. Coming up next, the IndyCar finale out in Monterey Grand Prix. That's coming up at 3 o'clock, basically about 11 laps from now. David Green trying to hang on to that point lead. There'll be 4 events remaining in Busch Series competition, NASCAR competition after this event here at Richmond. There is Kenny Wallace. Hasn't won in 1996. Had 1 win last year, came last spring here at Richmond International Raceway.
He got a tough break right there. He caught Larry Pearson in the middle of the corner, and Green was able to pass him going down in the corner.
Now Mark Martin looks inside of Purvis for 4th spot.
Purvis just moves up and lets him go by because right now he is battling a very ill-handling race car.
Yeah, when you hit that wall, it definitely knocked something out of kilter there. Still doing a good job with it, but it's not like it was. Less than 10 laps to go.
Got to give a call to Purvis. He is still hanging on to that car. The whole right side of the car is flat. You can see the concrete marks on the tires, and he's still got his foot in the throttle.
Yes.
The 74 car, Randy LaJoy, just can't catch a break trying to catch David Green in the points. LaJoy currently in 8th position. With 8 laps to go here in Richmond, there is Randy LaJoy, 2nd overall in the points standing. He's 100 points behind coming in here. He will lose points to the car 95 if he, at this point in time, 8 spots.
I believe David Green is pulling away a little bit from Kenny Wallace. He caught Todd Glenn going in the turn. That might have cost him a little bit of time, but Wallace catching him coming off the turn. But he's certainly holding his own out there.
And we'll show you David Green. There is the car number 95, the Caterpillar Chevrolet Monte Carlo.
Now on that lap, Kenny Wallace gained a little bit.
Yes, he did.
And we'll get a 5 to go this time by from Carl Simmons. He'll hold out one handful, saying 5 laps there, Mr. Leader, as he flashes by the start-finish line.
Spencer, the 20 car, direct in front of the Zippo car. Qualified in the top 4, did the 20 car.
And we got a spin down in turn 1 and 2. It's the 3 car, no yellow yet. We're getting near the end of this race, and he's moving up on the high side there, Jeff Green.
And still no caution. He has the car righted
And the leaders are coming there, and Kenny Wallace has caught David Green as Green trying to get around Spencer. Ooh, and the 3 car's going to be there. This is going to be interesting, guys.
Oh, and some contact between the 8 and the 95.
And now Kenny Wallace has the move on the inside and makes the pass. And David Green loses the lead. Apparently there may have been some smoke coming out of the 3 car. And now Green goes back after Wallace.
Let's see how aggressive David Green can get right here now. He can when the chips are down, and the chips are down right now.
They are black flagging the Goodwrench Chevrolet. Apparently there is some smoke. There's the 8 car. White flag this time by for Kenny Wallace. There's the Red Dog crew, Gil Martin and company, applauding their driver. 3/4 of a mile. That's all he's going to do is hang on and pick up his first win of the year. David Green, the Caterpillar car, the point leader. 2 car lengths back, making 3 car lengths back.
Mark Martin trying to get around Chad Little back there for 3rd. Here's that battle going into turn 3. Martin drives deep into the turn. Little trying to hang on, and here they come for the lead.
Checkered flag for Kenny Wallace. Dog wins it. Cat finishes 2nd. David Green in 2nd position. Deere goes 3rd. That is Chad Little. Mark Martin 4th. And Jeff Purvis in the top 5. Let's go to their pits and John Kernan.
Well, Gil, you dropped back to 4th on that pit stop, but boy, you made it up out there on the racetrack.
And I tell you, that was a scary moment for the Red Dog right there. That Ford was going all day long. We got a little bit tight, so we wasn't sure exactly how it was going to play out, but we made some adjustments on that last stop, and I guess it played out, so it lucked out for us today. I want to say happy birthday to my little boy. I'll see y'all tonight.
All right, Gil Martin on his way to victory lane, where Kenny Wallace is getting ready to pulling in as we speak.
Boy, what a final few laps, guys. The drama plays out. Kenny able to make the pass on David Green. Let's go down to Bill Weber in victory lane. Bill?
And Kenny Wallace sits in his Red Dog Ford, waiting to take his helmet off. A big win here for Kenny Wallace and his entire crew. And Kenny Wallace in victory lane. Congratulations. What a race.
Well, you know, we had a great race car. We had a little bit of a bad pit stop there, and the 3 car, of all people, Jeff's brother crashed, held Jeff up, and I got in there a little hard. You know, I hit him, let him go, but and then on the outside of him was Spencer, so it was just like a chess game. It's pretty awesome, but instead of brothers helping each other, darn it, Jeff got in a crash. It wasn't his fault, but if I want to say one thing. I want to thank all the guys on this team. We've been working our way in the Winston Cup. This is good for morale. One more race to go for Red Dog. I want to thank Red Dog and Square D. Thank you.
It has been a battle for you, Kenny. This definitely means a lot.
Oh, it does, man. I mean, to tell you, you know, the thing about it is I can win all these Busch races I want. This is my, 8th or 9th one now, and you don't get no respect for winning them. You got to do it in Winston Cup if you want to be big time. But I tell you, it's just a good time for us. One thing I'm proud of chassis-wise, this is not a 3-link. This is a new straight-up old truck arm car, and thanks to all the fans out there.
It's Wallace in victory lane. Kenny Wallace wins the Autolite 250.
Take a look at our results here today for the Autolite Platinum 250. Kenny Wallace, you see the double yellow marks, so that's leading the most laps. The other yellow marks are lap leaders.
First 10 cars on the lead lap. Terry Labonte winding that out.
Okay, 16 through 30. We'll show you the results. You can see where your favorite driver finished. Phil Parsons, who had that struggle, lost that wheel, finished back in 30th spot. 41 cars started today.
31 through 10 feet was the first car out. Tony Stewart lost an engine. Michael Walter Polster made contact with the wall. He will finish 38th today.
4 events remaining. Take a look at the point standings. David Green, the difference now 128, so he gains 28 points on LaJoie. You see Jeff Green, Purvis there makes a move. Todd Bodine down to 5th spot. There's the top 10. Our next Winston Cup show, NASCAR Winston Cup race, coming up in 2 weeks at Martinsville, Virginia. Claire Arrow's beautiful half-mile facility, live at 12:40 p.m. Eastern Time in Martinsville, Virginia. For John Kernan, Bill Weber, Ned Jarrett, and Benny Parsons, I'm Jerry Punch. Once again, congratulating our winner, Kenny Wallace, who picks up his first win in 1996. This has been a presentation of ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports. Now let's go out to Monterey, California for